Hello and welcome to the super important show, and I left the graphic up, but now it's gone. How's everybody doing? I have technical problems all over the place, but we're going to try and make it work. Tonight we have, what do we have? Tonight we have Horny Bears, we have Meth Burritos, we have Polite Criminals, and we have a really good debate, but more importantly, we've got two amazing co-hosts that are going to be with us tonight, so let me introduce them to you. First, let's introduce Miss Heather Jules Booth. Hello.
Hello, hello. How's everybody?
Good. And our special guest for the evening, Melissa Parker Caron. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm well. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. And I apologize to our audience at home. Our audio delay is all wonky, and we spent like 20 minutes trying to figure it out beforehand. So bear with us. We love you, and we love you, Melissa, and I'm sorry that it is happening to you, but we're doing our best here. There's just, the internet is the internet, and it's wonky, and I don't like it, but we'll get it.
The struggle
Melissa,
is real.
Yeah. Tell people about you. Who are you? What's your story?
Oh man, where do we begin? I am a New York City-based improviser, comedian, voiceover actor, mom to a 3-year-old, wife, dog
3
walker,
already?
dog owner. Yeah, she turned 3 in November. Isn't that crazy?
That is,
I literally
my
just
mind
had
is blown.
a baby shower.
Mine too. Yeah. I also
freaking
feel
out by
was
that.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like in Montessori it's like called 3K. She's like in a 3K program now, and she'll be going to like big kids school next year. Like not next year, like this year after summer, she'll be in big kids school.
Oh my God, that I can't even.
I know, it's wild. I know.
Yeah. So while my brain is breaking, let's get into the show. Let's get into our crazy stories. Heather, why don't you get us going in World You Crazy?
Kick us off with our World You Crazy. Yeah. Oh, y'all, we have a story. Embarrassed burglar leaves $200 and flees home with his AR-15. This story is coming at us from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where the owners of a New Mexico home were surprised to find a burglar in their house, a burglar who had an AR-15, only to have this burglar apologize and give them money and leave. They say that the man had slept, bathed, dined, and had some beer at their home, which is in the outskirts of Santa Fe, before the owners returned and discovered him. He had an AR-15 scoped rifle, but never threatened them, didn't take any jewelry, didn't take any belongings, but instead gave the homeowners $200 as reimbursement for the window he broke. The suspect also, like, what blows my mind about this is that the people showed up and like didn't immediately call someone. So the suspect had time to talk to them and share his story with them. He tells them that he is running from someone and that his family had been murdered in East Texas and that his car had broken down outside Santa Fe. The homeowners said the man was very embarrassed and very apologetic. The man ultimately left the home with his duffel bag, with his gun, walking down a ditch. They said his alleged larceny only cost them $15. It says sheriff's deputies came to the home and they searched, but they didn't find anyone. And that is what. Yeah. Chad is saying, what? A nice burglar? Yeah. Isn't that weird? Like, what do we think, y'all? What do we think? Like, first of all, family got killed. Like, to me, that's what stood out. That I was like, your family got killed, and you were like, I'm on the run.
Listen, I watch a. Melissa, go ahead. I have opinions, but I want to hear yours first.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, because I don't watch murder TV. But I was gonna say, that just seems so like, if he had time to like make up this story, like, what is he like sitting in their bathtub? Like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna tell them. Like, or is it like he's sitting down with the family, And he's like, this is what happened. A, is it real? And or no, I think it can't be. It can't be. I would not, if I was a suspect, number one suspect, right, and like killing my whole family, so I'm on the run. I'm not going to break into someone's house and then like have a beer and take a bath and like organize their record collection. Like, I don't know. It's not. I don't think that's. Is it real?
I don't know. I right. And I was like, I guess. If you already killed a bunch of people, if you already killed your family, I mean, I guess you could go either way. Like, either you're just like, well, I've killed a bunch of people, I'm going to just kill these people that show up too. Or,
well, did he kill his family or did his family get killed?
No, that I'm just inferring because it seems really weird that you would just be like, I'm on the run from somebody. Someone killed my family. And listen, that doesn't mean that he actually, like, maybe this person did not do it. And like, there is a person that killed their family and they are truly on the run. I don't know. It's wild. And just the fact that they like broke into the house, drank some beer. We're sitting there with the gun. And then we're just like, oh, sorry, really sorry.
That's why I fully believe it. Now, admittedly, I do watch murder shows. I am all about murder shows. So I'm on board with this. I feel like if he was going to be a legitimate burglar, he would have stolen some shit. He would have at least used the AR-15 and said, "Hey, give me your car, give me your whatever." This feels like one of those classic, like action movie things where the person is legitimately hiding out. They figure this person doesn't live here. It's probably like
the fugitive, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll just stay in this house. I'll stay under the radar, kind of thing.
Now I'm just going to picture that it's Harrison Ford.
I was like, one of my favorite. So there's like this story a long time ago that one like it's like, you know, like the stupidest lawsuits or whatever. And one of my favorite ones that stood out to me like years and years ago was a guy broke into someone's garage, but then couldn't break into the house, and he got trapped in the garage and was there for like a week. But then when the family finally came home and the garage door opened, he ended up suing the family and winning. Like for like, I forget what the actual thing, you know, like he was like entrapment or something like that, but because he couldn't escape. But he was the one originally breaking in.
What?
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
That's
like this could
nerve.
be one of those. I know. So there's like cases like that too. Like, well, people are like, you know, like sue like they break into a store and then try to steal something and get electrocuted, and then they end up suing the store. It's like, well, but you broke in after hours and tried to steal something, but they still win. It's like this, like it's a thing that there's like a contest like every year.
That's some New York. Those are some New York balls there to pull something like that.
Wild, wild. If you ever broke into someone's house, would you like if you were like on a mission, right? Your mission is to break in and steal this thing, or like you just need jewelry or cash or whatever. Would you also like take a beer?
Oh, it's like. I would want to be in and out as fast as possible.
But that's because you're new, and I think like if this
you think this is an established criminal,
right? If this is house like 100 that he's broken into at this point, like he's got the system down. He knows generally like what's gonna happen. So like at that point, then you can have a beer because you know like your window. The first time. You're in and you're out. I mean, you're right. Strategy-wise, in and out should be the strategy 100% of the time. I'm just saying that I feel like on the 100th house, you start like, you know, like I'm going to see how soft this bed is. I'm going to, you know.
You're like, let's just see. Some good craft beer.
Right.
But then
why not? At that
point, your fingerprints are all over the place then too, right?
Yeah, I think this dude. I think this dude planned to live there for a little while. I think this dude had decided that this was his.
He thought maybe it was an abandoned home. Right. Yeah, maybe he thought it was abandoned, or like that they were away or something.
Right, like if you want to go, ignoring home security, if you want to go like live in a free place, go to the Hamptons in the winter and break into fucking any house you can find, because none of those people live there. So you got like a 4-month window of just being able to like live in a house. So I think he was just probably hoping this was one of those houses.
I know what I'm doing
But
tomorrow.
like he didn't want to do bad.
Though. You're right, though. It does start off by saying he was embarrassed, right? He was an embarrassed burglar. Mm-hmm. So he was like, oh, crap. He wasn't expecting them to come up.
Gave them $200. Like, I'm so sorry. Here's money. Yeah. It's a wild story.
I love it.
Michelle in the comments is quoting me. Yeah, in and out. It's always a good strategy.
Yeah.
In and out. Yeah. If you got a better way to do it, let me know. Because that's all I know.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep thinking of The Fugitive. That's all I'm.
Yeah.
I like it.
Speaking of in and out, do we want to move on to Melissa's story? Wow, that's a segue, ladies and gentlemen. That is a fucking segue.
You really used that as a segue. Wow.
Yeah. In and out.
Did.
Okay, so I like it. My next segment's all about hamburgers. Just kidding. It's not. It's about Build-A-Bear After Dark. This is true. Build-A-Bear has launched an adult-only. I guess, is it an adult only? I'm not sure. It's a series of horny teddy bears.
Yeah. I went to the website earlier today and I had to verify that I was 18 years old. So I would argue that yes, it is adult only. I don't know why I had to verify that, but I couldn't look at anything until I verified I was 18.
So, okay. The story is, so Build-A-Bear is launching this new series of teddy bears designed specifically for adults. And they, if you're unfamiliar with Build-A-Bear, it's where you go and you select a bear or animal outer, like skin, body, whatever, and then you stuff it and you can put a little heart inside of it. And you can put all kinds of, you can have a beating heart, you can have it play a message, you can put things in their hands so they say things when you press their hands. I know this because I was an adult when I purchased my very first Build-A-Bear.
I also have purchased one as an adult, so.
See? Yes. They get a birth certificate.
I'm over, so.
You get to clothe them. And apparently these have like silk robes and glasses of wine. Like these are very clearly adult intentioned bears or lion. And they launched it on the Facebook page earlier this week saying it was a Valentine's Day related wink wink toy. Is that the right word?
Do you want me to bring up the picture?
Yes, please. Friend,
wait,
companion.
While we're talking, I have pulled this up too because I had to look at this thing.
Yeah.
But also,
I don't.
The URL is called The Bear Cave, which is, I don't know, even funnier to me.
I mean, and right, I don't know. Is this a bear or is this a lion?
This looks like a lion.
This is a lion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But like this bear wants to have sex. This bear is clearly assuming that intercourse is happening that night, right? Like
they definitely staged him.
Yeah.
Assuming he's a him.
Wait, you're...
Right, fair. Yeah. They've staged this bear lion.
They've staged this bear lion.
Lion bear. With the lion.
With some very sexy silk pajamas and a red robe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Just one thing I did learn from reading this article though was the word cheugy. Cheugy. The author of this uses the word cheugy, and I didn't know what that word meant.
Never heard of that. No.
Cheugy. It's a like they're giving. So I had to look this up too. They're giving credit to the Zillennials or the newer generation for using this word, but it means like something that's like the opposite of cool. So like that live, laugh, love plaque in the kitchen is very cheugy. Okay. So this bear is very cheugy.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I kind of like this word. Now I have a new word to add to my vocabulary.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and for Valentine's Day coming up next week, like, is this something that you would purchase for yourself or a friend or a partner? I guess. Or would you do this with Oh, here's the other question: can you only build this after dark, or is this like during store hours where the kid next to you is like, I want to put in like a voice box that says like, I love you.
This is what I wanted to know, actually. I mean, does Build-A-Bear even have like brick and mortar stores anymore? I don't even know if they do.
I guarantee in the middle of Ohio in the mall,
so
there's a Build-A-Bear workshop.
Are you going into the store and are you like being led downstairs into, because like I remember the one that was on Fifth Avenue, it had like a downstairs area where it had like the less cool, or like the less, I think it was supposed to be like, when I say less cool, it was like, that's where they put the dinosaurs, or that's where they put like the animals that were not as mainstream. Like I'm picturing that you're like led down into a little dungeon and you're like, welcome to the,
you have to go behind a black curtain.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but I guess that's my question is like, is this just like next to the one that's like, I want my bear to look like Miss Piggy? Or is this like, you're like, you and a 7-year-old boy are like, I'm making this one for my husband. And he's like, ew.
Right. And this kid's like, oh, okay.
I want mine to have Spider-Man mask on. I'd be like, ooh, a mask. I don't know. That sounds cool.
You could be like, hey kid, this bear's also going to shoot webs.
Well, and that's the other thing. So the article does say there's nothing like particular.
You're welcome.
The article does say there's nothing like particularly sexy about these animals except their clothing.
While we were doing this, I pulled it up because I was like, well, I want to see what the rest of these options are. And they're really not. It's just like, there's literally like a pink cat that says rosé over roses. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that's funny. But that's not like, I guess it's after dark because we're not supposed to sell that to kids, but.
Right. Well, there's this one. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock somewhere.
I would think it was hilarious.
It's really funny.
Right. This is 100% the live, laugh, love of teddy bears right here.
It is definitely.
Build-A-Bears. This could not be more that. This is. I was furious at this bear. I don't know why I was so mad.
She gets it though. Yeah. It is like this is like the mom bear. This is like ladies. Let's do this and now. Like what is it? 10 a.m. It's it's 1 o'clock somewhere. Yeah. Shit. Let's have a glass or two.
It's 100%.
I love it.
But look at her hair. Like her hair is just like screaming of just like I've given up a little bit. You know,
it's a bunny with ears. Bunny ears.
Okay. Well, then her ears are screaming. I've given up. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. This is just the 3
does her
o'clock
line
afternoon.
say Cabernet? Oh my God, it does. It says Cabernet. Michelle, did you design these? This is what I've decided. I've decided.
Yeah. Michelle did want to add that this is a Karen of Bears.
I love her.
Agreed.
This is my bear.
A little blonde bob.
I'm gonna be mad if someone doesn't get this for me.
There's also this bear, which is more confusing than the other bears, arguably.
So for those watching, Dustin showed us this beforehand, and in that moment, I had so many questions of like, and Dustin said this too, is this bear looking to take you out like on a sexy date, or is this bear looking to murder you? Because this bear could look like it's like gonna show up and be like, I'm here to take you out, and you're like, oh, and it's like,
yeah, and then as soon as you turn around, silent her in the back, and you're just like, what the fuck?
I mean, well, that's if that's the disrespect. That's if they don't respect you. I think if they respect you, it's like they'll do it to your face, right? I don't know. I'm not a criminal. That's what I know. I have a friend once who said that it was like, they shoot you in the back, that's because they disrespect you. Oh, that's true.
Wait, who is this friend? Who is this friend that knows a lot about murders?
Works within the theaters.
Wow.
Yeah. Front of house. People in the front of house.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. What could be more adult than a bear that is either going to murder you or go like weirdly risky business or something? Like I don't know what's happening. I don't like the looking over the sunglass effect in my bears. Like I don't know. I find this guy more disturbing than the than the champagne bear, is all I'm saying.
The champagne bear is like honestly kind of cute. Like, especially the staging of it and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, it's not a horny bear, but it's cute.
You say that, but okay, both of you are married, right? Both of you have husbands that I would argue that you are attracted to. Yes. If you came home and your husband was in like a weird silk robe like this, would you take it seriously? Would that like, you might end up getting to the end of the story, but I would argue that like it's not because they're wearing the silk robe, and that is no disrespect to Chris or Matt
I love the way you.
I'm just saying I don't think it works.
That, Dustin. That was so great.
Oh, so funny. Yeah. Yes. It would be all set up as, I mean, we both have comedian husbands also. So it would all be done as a joke, as some setup. He'd be like, oh, no, don't touch me. I just want to read to you.
Something like that. Exactly.
Come on. I'm like, come on, you put on silk pajamas. Matt, he's like, because they feel good.
Yeah. Matt, I believe that you're watching. This is your opportunity to come in the back of the shot in your silk robe. If you do that, you're a hero. Just know that.
Wow.
But if you have an equivalent, by all means do that also. If you have there was a bear that I didn't get that was like bear in an armadillo costume, which seemed like halfway towards like weird sex kind of thing. I don't know why you would have a bear in an armadillo costume.
Wait, let's talk about that. Time out. Let's talk about that.
What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a thing. I don't know.
Where is it? I'm going
There's
on the website. Where is
nothing sexy about an armadillo.
Zero.
I don't know. It took me a little while to find it, so I should have pulled it. I realize now, but
that's so funny.
Oh, there's a cow. Wait, there's also a baby Yoda.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, because they have themes now. They have like Matrix bears and shit like that too. So
I did see that.
This is hilarious. Oh, there's like wow. There's the same Karen bear except in a turtleneck sweater dress, which it looks even more Karen-like.
That's even better. Oh, yeah, and it still says like it's 9 o'clock somewhere.
It doesn't. It's just wearing this dress and it has a purse. So it definitely wants to speak to a manager.
Why does a teddy bear need a purse? I love it.
Right. The further you go down the list, the more. Yeah. The more there are bears that I was just like embarrassed for the bear, where I was just like,
those are the downstairs
it was
bears.
just like it just seems so sad.
Downstairs bears, yes.
Do we want to keep going on the bears, or is it time to move on?
I found
the
it.
armadillo bear.
Armadillo gift set. Oh my god. Yeah, what's going on here?
So it's a bear in armadillo. Costume?
Okay. It's supposed to be. It says it's a must-have gift for Friends fans. That's what it's supposed to be.
What?
This is not in the After Dark section.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, it seemed like it was, but
for elementary school kids who are fans of Friends.
Fans, yeah, because we all know that elementary school kids are watching Friends. Yes. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's move on. Even though I feel like we probably could do the rest of the show on
other stuff things, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So stuffed things. Tonight's a weird one. Okay, so every year the TSA puts together a list of the top 10 weirdest things that they confiscated from people who thought they could bring like on the plane. Because this isn't like the in-check luggage you weren't supposed to do it. This is I tried to get on the plane with this thing.
And they went through security.
Right, they tried to bring it through security. So, okay, so item number 1, chainsaw. Somebody felt like they needed to have the chainsaw with them while they were getting on the plane, and that it would be fine. And arguably, you could say, well, it's not a blade. Kind of. so maybe you could get away with it.
Not a singular
but that
blade.
it's not a singular blade. It has many, many small blades, and probably gasoline powered. So probably you're not supposed to bring that on a plane. And they weren't. Yeah. Could you just imagine being behind that person and just being like, I'm not getting on this fucking flight. Like, there's no way I'm getting on this flight with chainsaw guy in front of me.
Like they're arguing, like, oh, I bought it. It has a seat.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I paid the extra money. Michelle pointing out, sometimes you need to trim your nails on the plane with a chainsaw. God, if anybody does that, just kick them off the plane. Put them on a list.
Please.
It's so horrifying.
Yeah.
The second thing is a wine holder, which is fine, except that it was shaped like a gun. So
Get the fuck out of here.
they said maybe don't bring a gun wine holder onto the plane. Again, I think they just probably figured
rack? Or like,
a wine,
I'm holding a gun as it's holding my glass, because that's even more.
I think I don't know actually, because they didn't give it's very you could be right. It could just be a thing where it's like a weird. I don't know, but my point is you can't do that. Item number 3 is fireworks, because apparently you're not supposed to bring an M80 or whatever, or one of those good things on an airplane. There's only I don't even know what states allow them anymore. So I guess they just don't. I don't know. That's what checked luggage is for. I got in trouble a couple of times. No, I got in trouble for my knives one time because I was bringing my crazy knives home in my checked luggage, and they pulled it out of the plane.
Wait, I have now accessed pictures of these things. I don't think I can share, but should I put a link somewhere? Can I do that?
I have to see the gun wine holder.
Do you have the gun? Can you put it I can?
Well, I'll put the article. Click on it. The second one. The great thing also. I put it in the.
Are you
YouTube
putting it
chat.
in our chat or?
Oh, I should put it in our. Right, I should probably put it in our Facebook chat, shouldn't I? Yeah. Grandma needs to get out because it's wine o'clock somewhere, kids. Okay, somebody used the Facebook chat. I'm gonna put it in the Facebook chat. There you go, kids.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Yeah.
Right? But I also love that we could see where these things were found. So I love that the chainsaw was from Louisiana. I love Louisiana. That it makes me laugh that it was from Louisiana. Sorry. Go onward.
Yeah. Well, talk amongst yourselves so I can bring up some of these pictures.
Yeah. My mother's boyfriend was traveling. Not recently because pandemic life, but a while back, and didn't realize he had already gotten through security and he was about to get on the plane before he realized he had his. It's not a switchblade, but it was like a Leatherman tool, but the knife portion was really long. And he was like, I can't take this on the plane. They're going to kick me off. And he freaked out about it. And he had to run to a place to mail it home. Cause he was so afraid that he was going to get in trouble. But I was like, but they somehow let you through security with it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. And they just didn't see it because it was in a side pocket or it just didn't register. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that was a thing. So he mailed it home before they boarded or something crazy. Yeah. I think
I'm just going to bring up the weird wine holder thing because that
please do, because I'd like to discuss amongst us how weird. I have questions about what this kind of wine holder this is. What is it holding? Is it holding a bottle? Are you pouring wine in it?
Okay.
Please feel free, everybody. Share your thoughts. Where is the wine going? What is happening here? Is it so I'm guessing it's a bottle goes in there and the bottle sits. That's my guess.
Like it sits in the bottom, like it stands up, it leans against the...
I think so. But like I pulled this up and started laughing and then was like, because I could also see a world where like you pour the wine in it. It's really dark, but you pour the wine in it and like drink out of it. That's
a quick Google image search pulls up lots of different kinds of, not just this one, but many several like different kinds of holders, which is so wonderful and bizarre. Oh God. Yeah, I guess it could go either way. But why, I think, is my question.
Why? Why this?
Yeah, and why did you need it with you?
And why did you think you could take this on a plane?
I'm assuming they were in first class and they knew they were going to order a glass of wine and they were concerned about where it would go. And they're like, I don't want it just sitting on the, I don't want it just sitting on the little tray like a common person.
My riches.
Yeah.
Yes.
This one has everything though. This has a lasso. It has the horseshoe.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one says, I like cowboy gun.
Yeah.
Horse shit.
Let me hold your wine.
Let me hold your wine.
Yeah, this is something special. What else is on this list?
Yeah, what else is on this list, Dustin?
I do want
to. Touche, Michelle. Touche.
Yeah. So fireworks we mentioned, a machete, just a big old machete. I don't have time to add all these like so that everybody can see them, so I apologize. Bear spray, which that one I was just like, okay, I kind of get that. Like
anti-bear spray, like you spray it to dissuade a bear,
like mace.
Yeah.
Like mace,
yeah. But it looks like a bottle of shaving cream. So like,
I mean, I definitely
I don't know why
bears on a plane.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't. Bears? Okay, but what if in this person's defense, what if the plane goes down in the woods, which is a good likelihood of it happening? Okay.
Yes.
What if the plane goes down in the woods?
To Montana.
Wow.
Right.
The two of you just Andy-Fitched your way out of that question right there. All right.
What was the question?
Yeah. So, what was the question?
No, just not the question of like, why would you have? Well, because why would you have bear spray on a plane? What, do you think?
Because if the plane goes down, if the plane goes down and you're in the middle of the woods,
exactly.
Then who's gonna be foolish? All the not bear spray people.
That felt like a very Andy Fitch.
If we were going camping, if that is your true, like I have this because I'm going to a cabin in the middle of Salt Lake City or whatever.
There you go.
I don't do
Salt
Lake City. Do they have cabins? I don't know.
I assume they've got wood. I assume so.
They do. When we're all in a plane crash and we don't have our machetes and bear sprays, we're going to feel foolish. Somebody brought a cleaver. I was going to bring that one up also, but it's exactly what you think it is. It's the cleaver that comes to your mind. Yeah, it's the meat cleaver. It's like, the ridiculous meat cleaver that we all have. A firearm buckle. I gotta look at the picture of that one because I'm curious. I did not see the firearm buckle. I'm assuming it is just a buckle that. Yep, it's a buckle that is also a gun.
It's a buckle that's a
gun. Yeah, it's just a buckle that's got like a teeny gun in it. That somehow this person thought would be like a really good idea for a thing. I'm going to bring this one up too.
Like a handheld pistol. Yeah.
I'm going to bring this one up, but you again talk amongst yourselves so that I have time to do this.
Yeah, but like if it's a belt buckle, right? If it's non-functional, like why can't you take it?
I don't know the actual rule. I'm assuming that you can't have anything that looks. It could be a weapon,
but it's a belt buckle.
I don't know the actual rule.
How big is this?
No, I think it's a full-on gun. Like I think it's Yeah, hold on.
That's
I'm
really
getting there, guys.
To put a gun in your belt as your belt buckle. That's
I've never
bad
held a gun,
idea.
but I have no idea how heavy it is. But oh wow,
that's
like a revolver.
That's a real gun.
That's a
really
that's
sure
a
that's
gun
a
in
real
your
gun.
What comes out?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Called
Yeah.
Freedom Arms.
no.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just a gun. That's just a gun that's tiny.
Yeah, that's 100% just a gun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In a belt buckle. I feel
yeah,
I do
there was
not
also-
feel okay about this.
No, I don't think you should. I don't think this is. In addition to that, there was also. I could bring up the picture, but it's not going to do any good. Something called a meth burrito. It just looks like a lot of grossness. It's not something that you would want. And then the one
Does it? Okay, but question: is it something that is the idea that it has meth in it
Or was it made by a meth head?
by like someone, right? Or was it like someone wanted to eat it because they had done meth?
No, I believe it is a burrito that has meth in it.
Contains the meth.
Yeah.
But not like hiding like in a plastic I don't know, is meth a powder? I assume. I don't have no idea.
I don't.
But I just my brain goes to how like you would like hide cocaine. It would be like in a plastic bag inside a Build-A-Bear.
Inside a bill. Inside a Build-A-Bear.
Was it like contained inside a burrito, or was it just like we'll put some beans and some meth and some cheese?
I clicked on it because I wanted to know what it was. It says that it went through the X-ray screen and appeared to be black tape and dark wrapping around a large organic mass. And they suspected that it was suspicious. So it says they determined that it was in fact a lump of crystal meth.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. All right.
Since we're way over, we will. There was also just a pistol, and then one of the things that I found the most intriguing on this list is it was deodorant with bullets in the deodorant. So the person felt like they could sneak bullets onto a plane.
And it's from Atlantic City. That's the best. That's the pièce de résistance of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was all. That was all this year. So
You would think we're in 2020.
That was all-
This is that was 2021 leading into 2022. You would think that people by now know. Like, I can Google that. Like, you could Google it. The TSA is a very funny website that like lists all the things you can't bring. It's quite entertaining.
yeah. I will always remember going to the White House and they specifically had on the sign, no nunchucks. And I was just like, oh man, like I feel like if I could bring nunchucks there and do some damage with it, good on me. I should be able to do that.
You've earned your mischief.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could take out some Secret Service dudes with nunchucks, like recruit me for some shit is all I'm saying, as opposed to just saying I can't bring them. Like, it's a good test. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so I think that's the end of our list. Before we move on to our next segment, our new segment, if you're watching this on YouTube, because you are, because it's the only place it's broadcasting, don't forget to like and subscribe. And there's like a little bell once you subscribe that will inform you that this show is airing. So please take a moment to do that. Please take a moment to share it with your friends. We're trying to build an audience, and all the help we can get from you guys would be super duper awesome. So again, like, subscribe, tell everybody. It's wonderful. I'll remind you again at the end in case you forget, because I need to get a lot better at doing that. So that brings us to our new segment, which is called Great Debates, where we're going to take a couple of questions that don't necessarily have an answer and just sort of bat them around. We want to get your guys' opinion, and we want you guys to, play along with us and tell us what you think. So, Heather, why don't you get us kicked off with our first question?
Yeah. So the first question is: there are two people playing chess. One of these players can read minds. The other player can see into the future. Which of these players do we think would win?
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw that question, and I was like, You know when like you're like, oh, I know the answer. Oh no, wait, I don't know the answer. Oh no, wait, I know the answer. Oh wait, I don't know the answer. Like it was one of those questions that really like kicked the crap out of me. So I wanted to get your guys' take on.
Okay. So my thought on this is, it's weird because I feel like both these powers would do the same thing in a way, at least with chess, because if one person can read minds, you can tell what your opponent's going to do. Like
and that opponent is already thinking, well, I already lost this one.
And that opponent is already like planning, because my understanding is chess is like strategy, that you're supposed to be like planning it out.
Yeah.
Like moves, like if someone makes a move, you're supposed to be able to like know what the other moves are. That's what I don't play. So that's my understanding of it. So I feel like if you can see into the future, you've already mapped it out and you already know how it's going to go. But the person that can read your mind can also like, they know what you're mapping out. They know what you're doing.
How far into the future can this person see? Is it just a couple of minutes? Is it 10 years?
I'm assuming it's infinity.
Infinity, yeah.
So they already know, not even that they know whether or not they are a couple of like they can see the future. So yeah, you're right. They can kind of already read the other person's mind, right? But they already know, they can already see the end of the game. They already know if they've won or lost, which then is a disadvantage.
But then you would have to assume...
Right.
You would have to assume that the future can change based on what's happening in the present. So, in theory, a person who could read minds essentially can also see the future, because when the person sees the future, then they could read the mind of the person who is seeing the future. Right?
Because you're talking about, like, I can read your entire mind, or can I only just read like what you're thinking right now?
I can read your mind altogether.
So you see, I love how you think, because you're like, I can do this infinite thing, or this like, forever, this like all encompassing talent. Whereas I'm always like, yeah, but abilities are limited, right? Like I feel like maybe this person can only see the next 24 hours. Or if he sees past that, he forgets everything that he's already learned. And that this is like a game that my husband and I play all the time. And like, if you can read minds, can you only read what they're currently thinking, or can you read into like their past, present, and future?
I think for the purposes of this argument, let's assume that it is the equivalent of speaking. So, like, if a person is thinking a thing, you can hear it. But arguably, if the person is looking into the future, then you're hearing them, like, look into the future. So, yeah, and I totally understand that tendency. Okay, go ahead.
If I were the person that could see into the future, I would make it a point to be like, before we even set to play. Like, because I would already know, like, well, guess what happens later today? I win a freaking chess match against Heather. Well, when I go sit down, that's like, then I already know that, but I'm also like, oh, but see, you can already read my mind. You already know that I saw that already. Damn.
Right. Because like, arguably the person goes like, oh, I won because I did this, 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 and this. And the person goes, great. I know that you're going to do this and this, so now I'll change my thing. And now the future that person saw is a lie, because now different choices are being made. So, like, you would constantly go back and forth of, as soon as the person saw the future, the other person would know what that future was, and then they could change it. But then whatever decision that first person makes, like, the other person will know what's going to come of it. So it feels like a thing that would just, eventually the universe explodes. Like, I can't come up with a good answer to it, because I change my mind every single time.
Yeah. I would like to see this play out in a way that two players come, they sit down, they shake hands, and then they stand up and just walk away from each other, because they already know the outcome, but they don't tell anybody who won.
Yes, because they both know exactly how it's going to be. Yeah,
we know how it ends.
Yeah. Michelle, I would like to put up your comment, but it is too big for my graphic, so I will try and read it. Michelle said, wondering if the mind reader is at a bit of a disadvantage. Opponent might be torn on a move to make, so they can only know what they're thinking at that moment, as opposed to what they're gonna do. Yeah, but I mean, like, can you make a move without thinking about it? Like, go ahead.
Well, and that's where your whole, like, the caveat of, like, I can see into your entire mind. I've already seen that you saw into the future, so I can read every thought that you've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that what you were saying?
Right. I don't know. I think it should be as though, like, you are, like, you can only hear the monologue that the person has in their head, but in theory, like I don't know, the way I have it in my mind is that, like, let's say you were thinking back, like, I couldn't see into your childhood, but if you were thinking back to your childhood, I could see what you were thinking at that time. So I couldn't explore your whole mind, but I could explore anything that is, like, happening as it's happening. So in theory, if you were sitting there playing the chess game and then you looked into the future, like, I could eavesdrop on that look into the future, so there's nothing that you would know that I wouldn't also know, because I can mind read you. Does that make sense?
It does. Except that would be my strategy then. If my talent were to be able to see into the future, I would just do it ahead of time and then be very conscious that during the game, never reveal that I know.
So you think you would try, like, I'm going to play this game, I already know how it ends, but because of that, like, I'm just going to be singing, like, bye 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 from NSYNC the entire time, and like, they'll never figure it out.
Yeah. I think that's what what I would do if that were my ability.
But you'd have to be, like, really good at chess to not, because you would know how you won, and in order to reenact how you won, you'd have to do that same thing, but you'd have to somehow do that thing without thinking about doing that thing.
Yeah.
Knowing what the outcome was.
Unless you're really bad at chess, and then you're like, I don't know, I can just move this here and move that there, and then that's what your inner monologue is the whole time. Like, I hope I'm doing this right.
Michelle's been throwing some opinions in there, but, like, I think she's in agreement with us that it's fucking hard. It is really difficult. Like, if I had to pick, I would say I'd say they'd probably play until they die. I feel like I'd say, actually, I'd probably go with the mind reader, because the mind reader is at an advantage in that they will make a move and the other person won't know what's happening until after they've made that move. So in theory, they could get to a point where they make a move that the other person cannot counter no matter what they do. Whereas the mind reader will always be able to see, like, how everything's playing out. Like, I feel like we need a dry erase board for this one. Because it's so fucking confusing. So in that, let's move on to question number 2 in our great debates, before we get to our would you rathers, because we don't want to go on forever here. So question number 2, this one's a little bit more personal. This one's a little bit more just like, what would you do? It's borderline would you rather, but it's not quite. So in this question, you have the ability to increase, like, pretending that we are Dungeons and Dragons characters, essentially, if you will. Like, the way, like, in Dungeons and Dragons, you have X amount of charisma, you have, whatever, and you could boast up points, and I know that's not really how we are, but, like, as humans, pretending that we are, if you could increase one of those characteristics about yourself by 25%, and your choices are your confidence, your creativity, your focus, your pleasure, or your motivation, which one would you boost by 25%? I'll go to Heather, because Heather, I feel like you've been very contemplative this entire time.
I think for this one I would go with confidence, because there are certain things that I'm confident about, but for the most part I feel that I don't, like, Yeah, I think I could use more confidence. I think if I had 25% more, I would probably like get better at like promoting myself, which I've never been good at. So I think I would go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Michelle in chat said focus. I was really torn about it. Well, Melissa, do you want to go, and then I will force my opinions on you guys?
Mine has to be focus. I feel like confidence comes with being able to like do the things that you set forth, right? Like if you're motivated and you like do the thing. My problem is just focus. Like I'm spread too thin. I feel like I never finish anything, which is part of my ADD. But it's like if I just had even 5% more, I feel like I would. Yeah, I think that's it. I could get real existential about this, but I think yes, I would rather a 25% boost of focus for sure.
I mean, don't we essentially have medication for that? Like, isn't that like Adderall's whole game? Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, and I guess Ecstasy's whole game is the pleasure one.
There's Build-A-Bear for that.
Yes, there is. So gross. I don't know. I'm just so disturbed. I'm so disturbed by the bear in the robe. I'm still waiting for Matt to come out in his robe, but he's so far let us down. I think I would have to go with confidence on this one, just because I feel like there are things that that I know that I am empirically good at, that I know that like I can do well, which is weird for me to say. Why you're saying confidence? And it's like, because when it comes time for me to be like, hey everybody, this is what I'm good at, I would like to go do this, is when I'm afraid. Like, it's easy for me to sit here and say there are things that I'm good at, but then if you ask the follow-up question of like, well, what are those things? I'd be like, I don't, stop it, leave me alone, I gotta go away. Because like defending that is where like things get rough for me. So like I feel like I can force myself to focus. I mean, I was torn between that and creativity, because like creativity was like, if you're, the argument for creativity is like be so good that they can't ignore you. And I feel like 25% increase in activity may be able to push you to that level. It may be able to like make you be the next, whoever big famous person.
I feel like I got creativity out the wazoo. It's the confidence to be like, look at this cool creative thing I did. That's yeah. But Dustin, I agree. Like you just worded that really, really well. Like really how I would put it too, where it's like there are absolutely things I know I'm good at, and I am confident that I'm good at them. But then like watch someone ask me like, "Oh, you do such and such," and I'm just like, "Yeah, it's cool." Yeah.
I would love for both of you, together or separate, whatever, but just to like put it out there, be like, hey, I'm good at this thing, I want to do this thing. Like I think that like yes, that is your boost of confidence, and if I can give that to you, I would love to, because I'm like, I can do anything. You can have some of my confidence, because I'm definitely not good at a lot of things, but I feel like I am.
Awesome.
I'm jealous
so I think
of you.
for me, I definitely focus and motivation are my two, and I like love that it's like, it's so interesting to hear other people's like, well,
motivation was probably like my second choice. If I had to like go with a second choice, it would then be motivation, because I can definitely like, I'm definitely a procrastinator, like absolutely. But I chalk up, I was thinking about this recently, about chalking up some of that to being exhausted all the time, feeling like short, what was the word you used? Like short, not enough time to do everything. So there's sorry, I just got distracted by something. Lost my focus.
Well, my question then too is like, what pleasure? Like, is that just like, is that tied to happiness, or boost, like doing things like for actual like your own like pleasure, or is it like,
I think it was intended as happiness.
Fair. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I took it as horny red robe fair. Okay.
Oh no, I did not. I took it as just general like contentment with your life, but like I felt like increasing one of the other ones would give you that. So it felt like a waste of. Although I mean, maybe it's the perfect one because then you're like, well, I don't really care if I'm not creative because I'm just rocking out, you know, like I'm just having a good time. Like as a comedian, like I was trying to figure out which one of these is the one that bugs me. And what I mean by that is like, so I've seen people be successful that like were part of my class, you know, if you will. Like, you know, there's like comedians that you came up with that like, you know, everybody went their separate ways and some people worked out for it, some people it didn't, you know, whatever. And there were definitely comedians that I feel like were successful that I was like, oh, you deserve that shit. Like a John Mulaney or Nick Kroll. Like, you know, I was doing comedy when they were relatively starting out and like they were good and they deserved it. There were other comedians who I will not name who had some success and they had that success because they didn't stop. Not because they were particularly funny, not because they were like, you know, like ultra creative. They were just like, I'm going to keep doing shows every night and I'm not going to stop. And eventually, if I keep doing that, some success will come my way. And for a lot of people, that was not true, but for some people it was, you know? And so it was one of those things where like, I look at it and I go like, it was a combination of confidence and focus that allowed that person to be successful, even though they probably arguably weren't as creative as some of their peers were. So like, I don't know. This is equally impossible to answer kind of question. I mean, I think everybody's got their own kind of thing, but like, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with confidence for me, but I'm rambling now. So I will.
No, that was very beautifully put. And that makes a lot of sense. And I feel the same way about, you know, a lot of people in my life. You know, I came from a music background before I was ever on stage for anything. And it was kind of the same way, like those bands that like pushed themselves and just like kept going at it. And you're like, guys, maybe this isn't your thing. But then, you know, they got a record deal or they like went on this big tour and you were just like, why them? And it's because, you know,
what
some
happened?
of us didn't have the motivation or didn't have the focus to like get it done, I guess, or like keep going. Like, you know, all those shows you had like 2 people in the audience and it was like, oh, thanks, Mom. You know, it's like they just kept going and I was like, yeah. So I told that was really beautifully put, Dustin. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Cool. Do we want to move on to our last segment since we're already at the hour mark, but you know, we're having such a good time. Melissa's such a great guest and you know,
yeah.
So let us move on to our final segment. Would you rather?
Yeah.
Rather. I think I have the graphic for that one. I think we're going to you first, right, Heather? Am I?
Yeah, sure.
I don't have the rundown in front of me.
We have. Would you rather speak all languages or play all instruments?
Which is the follow-up from last episode.
From last week, right? Melissa,
yeah.
I'm throwing this to you first.
Linguistics is my thing. I would rather speak all the languages. Yeah, I play keyboard pretty pathetically, and I can't for the life of me learn guitar. And I try, and you know what? I have the confidence to know that I'm not good at this, but I will keep pretending. But yeah, no, speak all the languages for sure.
Okay.
Dustin?
Okay, so I'm prefacing by saying that I'm going to go with music, and Joy's going to be mad at me for my answer, but I'm going to say it anyway, and just know that the reason I'm giving is not something that I will personally take advantage of, but just go with me. This is like the 18-year-old version of me before I had met you, but like being able to play any instrument will very much help you pick up chicks, and I don't like it just will. And you guys can try and lie to me about this, but
I married one. I married a musician.
Right, exactly. If you if there are two if there are two guys and they're of equal, similar quality, you know, like good looking and funny and smart or whatever, and one of them can sit down at a piano and just bang out a song or grab a guitar and just fucking rock out, that's going to help them more, I would argue, than if they could speak French. So I feel like, again, as I mentioned last week, like
French,
I have
French, Italian, Portuguese.
Right. But like, I feel like that's one of those things that will help a little bit. But I feel like the instrument thing, you could always just sit down and like play a song, and I feel like it'll super work. That's all I'm saying.
You're motivated solely by picking up chicks.
Right?
No,
which is also a level of confidence of like Justin's confidence. Like, I would pick up all the chicks.
And again, just to be clear, Joy, I'm not trying to pick up chicks anymore. I'm just saying that, like,
Boy, watch
at the time
out,
that I was.
Watch out. If he shows up with a freaking Dan Smith will teach you guitar flyer, watch out, Joy.
No, I've tried to play it. Like, I've tried to learn languages and I've tried to play instruments. I am awful at learning languages, but I am better at it than playing instruments. I do not possess any musical skill whatsoever. So
what about
it is not going to happen.
Oh my God, this is a really tough question. This is so tough for me. So like last week when it was speak all the languages or talk to animals, I felt very confident. It was easy. I was like, I'd love to speak languages, but I want to talk to animals. Absolutely. This one I'm so torn on because my gut says speak all the languages, because I would love to be able to speak all the, like, I would love to be able to speak languages, understand languages. I know it's a skill I could learn, but how cool would it be to just like be able to do it? But I love music so much. I cannot play any instruments. I never learned. It's one of the biggest regrets of like just my, like, if you could say I have a life regret, I regret not learning how to play an instrument. So there's like part of me that's so tempted to just play all the instruments. Also, because it would be really fun. Like, I love to, like, Melissa, I love to sing. For those of you who don't know, I love to sing. That is one thing I have confidence about.
And
I
you're
love
so
to
good
sing.
at it.
Thank you. I would love, how fun would it be to be able to just sit down and be like, I'm going to accompany myself and sing this song right now. So I don't know. I don't know that I can. Come on. I'm not sure. Oh my God. I'm like, the more I'm talking about it, it's funny. I started out being pretty sure I was going to say languages, but the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, I kind of want.
All right.
How freaking fun would it be to just like,
but like all the instruments, you could play the guitar, the violin, the cello, the flute.
Violin was what I wanted to play when I was a kid. I love violin.
You could like walk up to London and like.
Yeah.
I'm putting you in the musical instrument column.
I think I'm going with instruments. Hey, check it now before I change my mind, because I do love languages. All right,
it's checked.
But I'm going with instruments.
It is checked.
It's like, yeah.
And in the chat, in the chat, we have, I believe this is Jeff. A cool guitar riff might seal the deal, but then what? Then comes the doing it. I don't know. Like isn't that like that? Then what? Like then you're there. Then you're
check out my wine holder gun carafe.
Right. And Joy is going. Joy, I'm going to let Joy speak for the chat. And Joy is going with instruments if she's forced to, even though she doesn't want to make a choice. So it looks like instruments. So
man, I lose out.
So just for to keep track of the record from last episode to this one, because last episode we said speak all languages or talk to animals. I believe animals won out last time. So this time, speak all languages and play all instruments. Instruments won out. So I feel like next week we need to come back with something that will win.
That will finally win languages. I know. What would it be?
We'll find. Yeah, I don't know.
Will be able to cook anything?
Oh yeah, I would choose languages over that. Like, I'm telling you right now, I would choose languages over that.
Yeah, I got seamless. So, like, all right. Let us move on to question number 2 then.
So,
question number two.
Oh yeah, is it me?
Yeah, I believe it is.
So would you Dustin, there's no way that you would know that this one would like literally get under my skin. Would you rather have your hands be slippery or sticky all the time?
Why is it so under your skin?
Oh, okay. So I had a saying, because it's a true saying that I say all the time, and it's true. I hate when my arms get wet. And I don't mean this like, and I just mean unintentionally. Like, I can take a shower, I can jump in a pool, but if I am walking out into the rain in the summer or the spring or even the fall or winter with short sleeves on or no coat, like I hate like all capital letters. Like, I just don't like my arms to get wet. So I have to like pull my sleeves down. I'm like, oh, or hide them, or, you know, like, I don't know. So for my hands to be slippery all the time would be like probably the worst thing ever. Sticky hands, I think I can do. I have a 3-year-old, so they're sticky most of the time anyway, just from being around her. So I'm going to go with, I would rather have sticky hands than slippery hands, because slippery I associate with wet. And I just, that's, you know, like when, yeah. Unintentional wetness.
Okay.
Just,
and to go into chat, we got from Michelle, and I'm gonna have my like actually moment here, because Michelle read sticky hands to further achieve my dream of becoming Spider-Man, which I understand where you're coming from. It just so happens that earlier this week I read an article that Spider-Man's hands and feet and stuff like that aren't sticky. That's not how he sticks to things. It's actually some like electromagnetic thing where he's able to control the elements and things. So he's actually like stuck to it, not from like stickiness, but through like electromagnetic stuff. So
no, is that true? Because if he's a spider mutant, he would have like little, like, it'd be like tactile. That's what like helps him stick to things. It's like little like hairs, I thought.
I mean, for spiders, yes, but according to the canon in comic books, from what I had read, that is not how he sticks to things. So like in theory, like, and also like it's not his hands and feet that are necessarily sticky, it's any part of his body. Like he could hang from his butt if he wanted to. He just does it with his hands and his feet, because like that's how your brain works. But if you wanted to just hang from your butt or hang from your kneecaps or whatever, like it is a thing that he could do. No, well, I don't. Well, again, that depends on this. That depends on the Spider-Man war. So,
that's
Michelle's writing.
I was going to say it's Spider-Man After Dark, but that's also Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
All right, so getting back, so we don't go too late in my, we're up till whenever. So sticky hands for Melissa. Melissa, who do you want to send it to next?
Dustin.
I would go. I am also a sticky hands person, and because I learned that from my cell phone. See, I have like a crazy case in case I drop it, because I drop it, and every once in a while, because like the little part down on the bottom is very hard to like put like headphones in and stuff like that. I have to take the case off if I need to use the headphone jack. And a normal cell phone is like slippery as hell. So like I am constantly like in forever fear that I'm going to drop my phone and then have to get a new one and spend like a ton of money, even though technically this one is already fully paid for, so I can get a new one and it'd be nicer and whatever. Let's ignore that piece of information for right now. And just know that like the fear and anxiety that I feel when I'm afraid that I'm going to drop my phone is so high that it makes me like not be able to enjoy the phone. So that really taught me that like slippery is very bad. I am constantly afraid of stuff. Like sticky is annoying, but you won't break stuff. Like slippery, you'll break stuff, or you'll like, you'll be dropping things all the time. Sticky, you just have to be very conscious of it. Now, don't get me wrong. That feeling when like if anybody's ever tried to like with one hand or whatever, like try and get tape off your finger and like you take the tape off, but then it just sticks to the other part of you. Like if you have like a ball of like masking tape or whatever, like that is maddening, and having to do that all the time would probably be maddening, but I would break less stuff. So that's where I'm going with sticky.
Yeah, and I don't know if you use like honey in your house at all, but when there's like the outside of the honey jar has like, or maple syrup even, it has like the sticky on, like it's maddening a little bit. Like just rinse the honey jar, or the counter, like one little drop. You know, it's like sticky. Like what? Or you sit down or like you go to a restaurant and you like sit down, and you're like, ew, why is it sticky? Like it's a weird like reaction. Maybe it's just me.
Rinse the honey jar. That's
just the reaction I have.
Rinse the honey jar is a great Build-A-Bear After Dark. Definitely. It's a tip, folks. Just rinse the honey jar.
And Heather, what about you?
And also,
I'm breaking your streak, y'all. I'm going with sticky hands. I
said sticky. I would rather have sticky. Oh, you don't want sticky hands?
No, I don't. I will pick slippery. Okay. It's not fun, and I'm a clumsy person. So I am also used to dropping things and like having to be extra careful. And I don't enjoy the feeling of slippery hands. And I understand. I like agree, Melissa. I don't like having like wet hands. But tactile wise, the feeling of stickiness on my hands is like I might as well have stuck my hands in like vomit. It just makes me feel so disgusted. Anytime I touch something and my hand gets sticky, I'm immediately like, well, I have to burn my hand now. I can't explain it. It's just one of those weird neuroses, but I absolutely hate that feeling. So I can confidently say I do not want to have sticky hands. I don't like it.
So you were never one of those kids that used to put like a layer of Elmer's glue on their fingers and like...
I was not. Nope. Oh,
that was fun. You missed out. That was a good time.
Did I?
Yeah, and then like peel it.
Yeah.
I believe you. I support you. I accept you. I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah. Okay with missing out on that.
All right. Let's move on. So we're not here. We're not here all night. Our last would you rather of today is mine. Would you rather go 1 month with no phone, or 2 weeks with no internet? So because the phone thing like could work both ways, the assumption is that like you would still, in the 2 weeks that you don't have the internet, you would still have your phone, but your phone would only make calls and send text messages. You couldn't use it to receive emails. You couldn't use it to, basically do anything that connects to the internet in any way. But you would still have your phone during that time. So I'll go to Heather first and get your take on which you would prefer.
I'll go 1 month without phone. I don't care.
1 month.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't care? You don't like having a phone?
I like it. Really? It's fine. I mean, obviously I need it to communicate, but I feel like any communication that I need to do could be achieved over the internet without a phone. Like on a computer, on an iPad. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not making calls. I can tell you that much. Not making calls, not getting calls unless I'm forced to. So
right, but I feel like just for the sake of like making this like a fair argument, I think the assumption is like any mobile device that you could bring with you. So it's not necessarily just like for phone calls, because I agree the frequency with which most of us make calls now is probably relatively limited. But like basically it's saying like every time you're walking somewhere, you can't communicate with somebody until you get there. Every time you're on the train, you can't listen to music and stuff like that.
Convenience. Nah, I don't care about that either.
Yeah.
Like I love music, but these are things I'd be willing to give up. To me, 2 weeks without the internet is like cutting off. To me, that's like cutting off my communication and like my access to knowledge, anything, like finding out anything. But the only thing I will say to that is if it's an aspect of like having the phone for safety, that is a scary concept. Like you do want to try and have your phone to be safe.
Right. That's why I think this one's so hard, because like for me, like if I'm out in the world and I don't have my phone for an extended period of time, I feel like I feel like I'm going to get murdered at any second, and I'm going to end up on that weird island where all the like unclaimed bodies are.
Right.
So
there's no way for someone to get in touch with you. Yeah.
Right. Because they don't know what happened. So like that's where I tend to go with 2 weeks with no internet, even though that would be very difficult and we'd have to cancel the show. But for those 2 weeks, but I would go with the 2 weeks with no internet, because I feel like, you know, assuming this is normal time, because like right now it doesn't matter. I don't leave the house because we're still in like weird pandemicness. So like, you know, that's a whole different thing. But if we're assuming like a normal time, then I'm going to go 2 weeks with no internet, because I don't like the feeling of not being able to communicate with folks if I'm out and about in the world. What about you, Melissa?
I'm so torn. This is too hard. Okay, so let me ration it out. First I was like, oh, a month with no phone, no big deal, because the same thing like Heather said, like I could use Messenger or WhatsApp on my computer, or like find another way to or email somebody. Like as long as I have the internet and I'm connected to the entire world, literally, I can communicate with family. I can like get a message across. I can, you know, see if an audition came through, like whatever it is. But then I was like, oh, but it's only 2 weeks, a whole month without a phone. Like, I think I might go crazy. As somebody who actually like texts with my husband on a daily basis, and also my mom group and, you know, my child. Oh, I don't know. Okay. So a month with no phone. Like today I went to the library, and it's like, I wouldn't have that. Well, but there's so many other, like I would have like a camera. I could take pictures, like an actual camera. I could take pictures of my kid. If I had a phone, I could use a lifeline. I call my sister and be like, oh, what does this mean? Oh, the other thing is my house is like connected to my whole, like, we're in a tech home. So like all my lights are like Philips Hue lights, and I can dim them just with my voice, and everything's connected to either Google or Alexa or like Siri HomePod now. Like, so like but that's all connected to the lights. Like I remember when the power went out last summer, it was like with the rolling blackouts, I was like, oh no, how do I turn the lights on? And I was like, with the switch. And I was like, what? I have to get up and go turn the light on with my hands? Like, this is crazy. So like, I do have that, was like, oh my God, what would I do with no internet? Because I'm also somebody who like literally looks up, am I using the right word for this? Or like the definition of a word that I just heard, or, oh, who was in this movie? Oh, what other movie were they in? And like, I'm constantly information like junkie, right? I'm just like constantly like, how do I know this person who's in this like show, or like what other song did they write, or what album was that on? So I feel like but like it would be probably so good for my focus if I didn't have the internet, because if I didn't have it for 2 weeks and I did have my phone, then I could just like call my sister and be like, hey, can you look this up? Or I could call like my husband and be like, oh, can you write this down? It would like force me to use other, like my journal more, my calendar, my like, you know, like physical things other than my life. Oh, this is so hard. I don't know. Because without my phone, then how would I, if I was out the grocery store and I needed a 5-pound bag of flour, and I was like, oh, do we have flour at home? I don't want to walk 4 blocks with a 5-pound bag of flour. Do I take the chance that we have it? Yeah.
Go home and order it. Go home and order it on the internet. It's true. Yeah, I absolutely have done that, where I'm like, I can't remember if we have this. I'm going to err on the side of not buying it, and I will just order it from home.
Oh no.
Right, this is a hard one. I feel like
I would rather have. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, Dustin. I'm making this go so long because I can't choose. I would rather have 1 month with no phone.
Okay.
I know even the thought of like paying for the internet is like giving me stress. So, especially if I was paying for the month when I had 2 weeks without it, like I'm going to raise hell about it. So yeah, I think 1 month with no phone.
All right. And I'll let Joy speak for chat. And she went with no internet. So that leaves us at a tie. clearly this is a tough one. It's a tough one.
That's so hard.
That about does it, guys. That is.
If it weren't for the safety, like to me, it would be such an easy choice of like, fuck the phone.
Yeah.
But the safety aspect does make me think twice. I lived without the internet and I hated it. So
don't ever take it away.
Nobody ever take it away from me again. I remember when it didn't exist.
If I have to turn my lights off with my hands again.
I can't go back.
Please don't.
I need tips because I'm still turning lights off with my hands. So clearly I got to free up my hands.
Yeah, getting up like a chump. I gotta. We have a heated toilet seat, and I got a message from Joy one day at work. She's like, "I'm going to the bathroom on a not heated toilet seat like a chump," and I was like, "Yeah, you shouldn't."
I've been to your place.
Every toilet seat should be heated.
Yeah, I've been to your place, and I will tell you that is a lovely thing.
Yeah, especially right now.
I don't think like if people were like say nice things about Joy and Dustin, I would be like heated toilet seat. But I definitely like think about it with you guys. I absolutely am always like, oh, and then their place is so great. It's so nice and it's very warm. And it's heated.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Everybody should come over and experience it. Since we are way over, Melissa, where can people see more about what you do and who you are?
Yeah, I'm doing more Armory comedy improv this season. I'm doing an improvised movie with the team Untitled. I am still a member of the Red Shirts, which we do Star Trek themed musical improv, which is super, super fun. I'm coaching on Skills Hub now too, improv classes, 15 minutes with a coach or 5 minutes with a coach. It's super awesome for voice actors specifically, or people who have an audition coming up and want to like hone in on their quick improv skills, or beginners. I'm doing level 1 in children. So yeah, come find me there.
Awesome.
Nice. And Heather, where can folks find out about more about what you're doing?
I am also in Red Shirts with Melissa. That's one of those like, look us up online. We have shows random times, sometimes in person, sometimes over Zoom, but we do really fun musical improv about Star Trek. Specifically this Saturday, I will be in Shot for Shot, The Greatest Showman. I am playing Letty Lutz, so I will be singing the anthem, This Is Me. Very fun, because I've played it before. I love it. I love doing it. And that's at Shalala Tavern in Astoria. It's a lovely bar. They're very nice there. I am going to learn how to pronounce the name. I should at 8:00. So please come check us out. It's really fun.
Cool. And I will be doing another version of How Should I Know next Thursday. The first one went really well. If you have not seen it, click over down in wherever the videos are, depending on where you're at on the YouTube page right now, because it is part of this channel. Check it out. It was super fun. I learned a lot from doing the first one. We're going to do another one next Thursday. Speaking of which, we will not be doing a show this upcoming Monday, thanks to it being Valentine's Day.
We're all going to
do Valentine's Day things.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all going to Build-A-Bear. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again in a couple of weeks, or next Thursday. At least I will see you for our trivia show. All right, have a good night.
Thank you.